One of the major factors that affects your life, all your life, is what you do with your money. So here's what you do. First, pay your taxes, right? And for kids, that is easy. They pay when they spend, unless they make a lot of money. Then you must teach them to pay federal taxes. Remember the care and feeding of the goose that lays the golden eggs. Next comes the 10 cents for charity, which we have already covered. Johnny says, oh yes, here is a dime for those who cannot help themselves. Now I can spend the rest. Answer, no. You will wind up broke and unhappy. He says, okay, what now? And now comes another major life lesson. The next 10 cents out of every dollar of wages or profit is for the increase of capital you manage. Set aside 10 cents out of every dollar profit so that someday you can buy 2 bottles of soap instead of 1. I'm sure Johnny will catch on to that one right away. He says, of course, if you buy 2 bottles instead of 1, you save yourself a trip. How clever. And the next point you teach is that some companies will sell you 2 bottles cheaper than if you buy just 1 bottle at a time. They sell you 1 bottle for $2 and 2 bottles for $3.80. Johnny says, wow, then when I sell it, I can make even more money. How clever. It's true. Everybody benefits from the increase of capital. The company gets to sell 2 bottles at one time. You save a trip and some costs, and you can keep some of the saving or pass along some of it to Mrs. Jones, your customer. Let's review so far. First, pay taxes. Next, 10 cents for charity, and 10 cents for capital you manage, and for the increase of that capital out of every dollar of wages or profit. Now, here's the third 10 cents from every dollar, and that is capital you provide. Take 10 cents out of every dollar and put it in a financial institution. And now we have come to a major benefit for all of us if you bring this 10% of your earnings to the marketplace. You see, some projects in our society need more capital than one person can provide. So we have a system whereby all of us can loan or invest our money in capital provided so that large businesses can be built to provide more jobs and products and service and help create an even more dynamic society. So 10 cents out of every dollar should go into a savings account. I really prefer to call it an investment account because, and kids will love this, they pay you for the use of your money. You can get back the money you loaned and you will have more profit from what you are paid for the use of your money. And be sure that you teach this, that if kids start this program from whatever they earn on a job or in engaging in enterprise or both while they are in their teens, by the time they are 40, they will be wealthy enough to be able to do what they want to do the rest of their lives instead of all their lives doing what they have to do. Now, from your teenage years, it could take a much shorter period of time to become financially independent, depending on what ideas and opportunities you take advantage of. Mrs. Fields developed a new chocolate chip cookie and became a millionaire before she was 30. Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookies. What an example of capital in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the state. A 10-year-old takes $1, searches around the community and finds a broken, abandoned wagon, pays $1 for it, brings it home, cleans it up, sands off the rust, paints it till it's shiny and new, straightens out the wheel, and sells the like-new wagon for $11. You ask, does a 10-year-old deserve $10 profit? And the answer is, of course. Society now has a mended wagon. And that's what it's all about. Find something and leave it better than you found it. Create a value. Build an equity. It's how we build this most dynamic society called America. And everyone can contribute. Everyone can bring some value to the marketplace. We can all be students of capital, profit, equity, and value.
How many have major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I like seeing that. I always like to ask that question, how many of you have major goals you like to achieve? Then I follow up with another question because this is a crucial place in my life. Just came from the memorial services yesterday in Plano, Texas. Zig Ziglar, I remember when I first saw him speak, I knew I was looking at my destiny. I love helping people. And my goal was to be on stage with Zig and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Jim Rohn. These guys have gone on to the next level, but that was my goal and dream, and I was very fortunate to achieve that at a very crucial point in my life. This industry has really contributed a great deal to me. I go way back in multi-level marketing from the days of a company called Best Line Products, a guy named Bill Bailey. He was one of the mentors of Jim Rohn, one of the greatest speakers on the planet, and holiday magic. This stage of my life, and I think about all of the things that I've done, I can tell you unequivocally to dreamers, there's no business that will contribute to your growth and development more than this industry. There are several power strategies that I like to share with you, but with the limited time that I have, I want to drill deeply on 3 of those that you will have as a result of being a part of this industry. Because what this industry allows you to do, and I want you to write this down. Number 1, it secures your future. It secures your future. Number 2, it will stretch you. You develop some new skills, people skills. You're a dreamer, you can't make your dream happen without building people. As I reflect on my life, 15 years ago I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, given a 2 to 3 year prognosis. And the skill set that I developed in multi-level marketing allowed me to generate enough income that I could focus on my health, take care of my mother. I'm adopted. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. The other thing it did, it expanded my vision of myself. This is a time that as you look at yourself, there's no such thing as job security. How many of you know that? Raise your hands, please. And it instilled in me a sense of confidence, a strong sense of self. You have a strong sense of self, that gives your life a sense of purpose. Your life has a sense of purpose, it gives your life a sense of direction. The economy has changed. We have switched. I remember reading a book by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock. And things that he talked about, what he predicted, we're living that right now. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college and graduate and get a job and work 40 hours a week doing the same thing 40 years. That's gone. 73% of the college graduates, when they graduate, unable to find a job, they move back home with their parents. What multi-level marketing does, it empowers you and gives you the ability to create your own job. Gives you the ability to create your own destiny.
The Bible says that we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency may be of God and not of us. And so just because the vessel is human doesn't mean that the treasure isn't good. Do you hear what I'm saying? While their ministries were fabulous, these small glimpses into their lives would divulge the complexity of what it means to be human. To be human is to be complex. These were handpicked by Christ, but they were still men. If somebody else would have picked them, I said, you made a bad choice. But Jesus himself picked this dude. Jesus chose him, handpicked him, called him, pick up your cross and follow me. And yet when the heat got hot enough, he has warmed himself by the fire of the people he used to fight. He has switched uniforms. At the moment that Jesus needed him most, he said Jesus doesn't need a boat ride. He doesn't need a fish sandwich. He doesn't need a tour. Nineveh, no. Jesus needs his disciples to be loyal at that moment. The complexity of his humanity kicked in. He was scared. Human capabilities allow us to love, speak, wisdom at one moment, stare down danger at another moment, and still have moments of fear. You cannot judge him in the isolation of this one moment. He will ultimately experience martyrdom and give his life for Jesus. But at this particular moment, he runs like a little girl. He lies through his teeth. And he is filled with shame. The Bible generously allows us to add both their assets and their liabilities in how we look at the men in the Bible. This David, a mighty man of valor, a giant killing David, but also a lust-ridden David who ends up sleeping with Bathsheba and killing Uriah and yet becomes the king of Israel. Come on, somebody. There's Jonah who could preach with so much power that cows repented, that cattle repented. He preached with such anointing that the livestock repented, the king repented. Everybody turned to God because of him. And yet he was a bigot. He was a bigot and he ran from God and ended up being swallowed by a fish. And when God saved Nineveh, the one who preached to him was mad at God. If you tell me people are complicated, people are complicated. At one moment they say Hosanna, and the next moment they say crucify him. And sometimes it's hard to tell your friends from your enemies, because sometimes your friends act like your enemies and your enemies act like your friends. And it is hard to tell who Peter is because of the shame that is on this moment. The shame that's on this moment. And you have not lived until you felt shame.
What do you do about the negative guy that's trying to bring you down? Ignore and outperform every last one of them. While you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. If you lose, I will win. Never allow anybody to make you feel bad about being so blessed when you worked your ass off to get it. To all of the men and the women who work their ass off every fucking day, don't lose no sleep over these haters, man. The reason they got a problem with your life is because they don't have a life. You got a problem with me? You go right on ahead, homie. I sleep good at night because I've gotten rid of all things, people, and situations that were bringing drama, negativity, and dysfunction in my life. You decided on the clubs, partying, hanging out, popping bottles with models, and all that shit. That ain't for me. I'm gonna be out here running in the hot sun, practicing, playing basketball, shooting on weekends while everybody else is clubbing and hanging out. You got your focus right. It's not about today. It's about the future. It's grind season, homie. We all have shit happen in our lives, but it's what we tell ourselves about what happens that determines how we feel about that situation. This isn't just something that happens or a test that you can pass and then you can do this all your life. This is a daily, constant effort to look at solutions, not problems. Train your mind. Train your mind not to focus on the problem and make it bigger, but focus on the solution to solve it. Work on how you interpret problems and the things that happen around you. Stay positive, stay focused, and most importantly, stay strong. Life is always going to throw shit in your way. Things that will test you, things that will make or break you. And you've got two options. You can just stand there and take it like a little bitch, or you can smash through the fucking thing and move on with your life. You can either be a victim of your life or the master of it.
Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into a topic that we have all faced at some point in our lives: handling our enemies. Whether it's a difficult or co-worker, a frenemy, or someone who just seems to have it out for you. Dealing with enemies can be a thought, but guys, what? You have together. First things first, it's important to remember that you don't have to stoop to their life level. Stay true to yourself and don't let their negativity bring you down. Focus on your own goals and surround yourself with positive influences. Secondly, use their negativity as fuel for your fire. Let their doubt in you be the motivation you need to prove them wrong. Show them just how strong and tough you are. Lastly, don't let them rent space in your head. Shift your focus on to the people who love and support you and the things that bring you joy. Remember, you are in control of your own happiness and success, so go out there and handle your enemies like the boss that you are. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more motivational content. You have got this.